Please silence your cell phones if you haven't done so yet. And the usual format is to go over a financial report first. We do have some of our computer club membership duties. So we're going to be talking about membership. We'll talk about the computer club itself. We'll review some of the classes we're doing and go over some of the community matters, since this is a meeting that's open to everyone in the Sun City community. And then we'll get on to our feature presentation for today. We are making one change. Let's go back one second. We are making one change, which is the bottom. Instead of opening up the lab, as Dave mentioned, we are going to stay here until noon. And if you have quick questions, so don't all bring up your big desktops and everything, but if you've got some quick questions, we'll be happy to answer those, stuff that we can do in just a few minutes. If you've got bigger questions, you can ask us what it is. We can do a quick diagnosis and then let you return on Monday to the lab. Some of you may relate to that. So this is our financial report that we go over. It's pretty much the same as we've done previously. So we have about $30,000 in our checking account, and we have a large reserve to replace equipment because we have a substantial amount of equipment. And so what we will be doing at the end of this year, when the new version of Windows comes out, or possibly even before that, but we'll get, we will be purchasing new equipment, so that's what the reserve fund is for, as well as other things that we may need during the year. So this shows our total cash, and you can see that we also have about $50,000 in oops. So we also have about $50,000 in equipment. Actually, we have more. These are the items that are over $1,000, so it's actually even more than that that we have in the lab. And the last item is the Grafton Food Pantry, and we've so far this year I've donated $519, and that's just for the first 3 months of this year, into April, beginning of April. And you may know that the jars that you see up by the donuts, anything you put in those jars is for the Grafton Food Pantry, so it goes to a good cause. And so we encourage you to donate as you pick up your donuts. Okay, the next thing is our membership is currently at 1644, and next month actually is the beginning of our new membership dues collection. So I'm going to introduce Joe Quinn, who's our membership director, and he's going to talk to you about how that is going to work. Okay.
Okay, we're going to talk about membership renewal for next year. Just so you know, it's not an easy task. We're going to be doing about 1,200 people. That represents 800 households. Obviously, not all those people will renew. It never happens that way. I will send out an email reminder on the end of this month. The time frame for the renewal is May 1st to June 30th of this year. If you wish to do it in person, you can do it during open lab times or at the general meeting in the next 2 months. There is a drop box that's available outside the entrance door to the lab, which I will show you in a minute. And for this year, because of the Dropbox and stuff like that, we would prefer payment by checks. Not necessary, but preferred. Okay, that's what the Dropbox looks like. Next slide. That's where it is. Okay, it's just to the left of the door. Okay, we're gonna talk about, the actual payment is $15, that's for 3 years, okay? Your current membership needs to be current. You may have been a member 4 or 5 years ago, and I'll come back to that in a minute, but this is for people that are currently members in good standing in the community. Again, checks are preferred for payment. The time frame again is May 1st to June 30th. As always, the cost is per household. We have people that give us a double payment, and we have to wind up giving them. And it's harder sometimes to give people money back than to get out of it, believe it or not, just because they can't get a hold of it. This is, if you come into the lab, up in the top left-hand corner, that tells you the year your dues are due. People come and ask all the time. Every time you come in the lab, that's where it is. So if you ever have any questions and you go in the lab, you know when your dues are due. So it says 2026 will be 2 years from now. Okay? Okay, to sum it up, and the considerations to do are, be sure to identify your payment. Put it in an envelope if you feel comfortable doing that. You say, give me a check, and there's more than one person in the household, the second person may not have the same last name, may not be listed on your check. So we need to identify it. Okay, we use a piece of paper with a paper clip, but an envelope obviously works safer. Again, checks are preferred for that same reason, especially if you put it in Dropbox. We have no control of the security of the Dropbox other than it's got a simple lock on it that we can open. Note the CAM number on your check, the number that you use to get in the door with in these buildings. That identifies you to our system. Again, there's a security issue with cash in the Dropbox. I will be sending the emails out like I noted. Believe it or not, there are people in this computer club that either don't have or don't list their email in the North Star system. So if you're one of those 30 people out of the people that are due, you will not get an email. I told you about the sign-in page has a renewal time. I reasonably put the Dropbox on it because historically, the renewal line get long. With 800 households, there's no way we can do them all in one day, let alone in one meeting. So be aware of that. We're gonna try a little, we're not gonna do a lot of them on the computer this year, at least not up front. So we're gonna try to speed up the process by making notes. But if there's any questions that I haven't covered. I will tell you one other thing. If you're a person who wants to be a member of the computer club, wants to join, the $15 only applies to current members. New members or people that have let their current status expire is $25 for 3 years now. Used to be just 1 year, now it's for 3 years. Everything's in 3-year increments now. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that means that when you want to pay your dues, we're essentially open all hours that Meadowview Lodge is open because we've got that Dropbox there. So even if you see a closed sign on the door, just put your envelope into the Dropbox.
It's getting there.
So, next thing I wanted to talk about is, we're always looking for new people to help out, in the lab. We need, lab techs, to come in. We're currently open 2 days a week, Mondays and Thursday mornings. If we can get some more people, to help out, then we can open more days. So, if you'd like to help out, feel free to talk to any of us, here after the presentation, or come to the lab anytime we're open. We're also looking for more board members, people who want to get more involved with the computer club, as well as on the coffee committee. Okay, this one,
I've already made my announcement.
okay. Yeah, that's wireless and Wi-Fi. So next thing we'll talk about briefly is computer club matters. As we mentioned, the computer club is open Monday and Thursdays from 9 to noon. And the lab will be closed when we're meeting in Trendle, so we're gonna stay open here until noon. And we can have kind of a little computer cafe. If you want to ask questions, if you want to just get together with a few other buddies and talk about tablets, smartphones, AI, anything your heart desires, feel free to grab a cup of coffee till the coffee's gone, and have a seat, and you can welcome to stay until noon. Our classes. Is this working? Back up to the classes. Okay, this shows our computer classes. So we currently have on the schedule, we have Apple iPhones and Android smartphone classes. If you're looking for the Apple iPhone class that was offered yesterday, so you've already missed that one. But you're certainly welcome to come back on May 8th, and we'll have that one again. The Android classes will be on April 25th, and then again on May 8th and May 23rd. And we'll probably be adding some more classes as well to the schedule. And things going on in the community, there's a Santana tribute concert later on in the month, April 30th. Creedence Clearwater Revival concert going on May 9th. And the Sun City Board meeting is on April 24th at 9 in the morning. And always check your lifestyles and your e-blasts and for current things that are going on. And as I mentioned, we will be available to stay open here until noon. Okay, with that, we're going to go on to the main presentation, which is getting the most from your tablet or your smartphone. How many of you actually have tablets that you work with on a daily basis? Or just have tablets, let's say? So quite a few of you. And for those of you who don't have tablets, as I mentioned, what is a tablet? It's basically a large smartphone, except one that you probably may not be using it to make phone calls. So we're going to look at a few other things that you can do with a tablet, and you should be able to get some good ideas, at least one or two ideas that perhaps you're not using currently, and that maybe you can adopt some new things for yourself. So, okay, so what is a tablet? It's basically a tablet is it's a mobile computer device.
Which one do you want?
The tablets.
Back.
Yep. No. So, yeah, a tablet is a mobile computer device. It's got a touch screen and a rechargeable battery. It's essentially like a computer. Um, uh, so it's a computer, but it's also like a smartphone, but larger than a smartphone. So you have a larger screen to work with. Typically, phones. I'm gonna stay on that one slide. Phones go up to 7 inches. Tablets go from typically 8 to 13 inches. The smart TV, okay, so we've got there basically is an overlap between phones to tablets to computers. So if you start out with a phone, the evolution of phones, they've gotten larger and larger and larger. Some of the largest screens, they used to call them phablets because they were kind of a combination of a phone and a tablet. And then you get into the larger tablets, the 13, 14, or 15-inch tablets, and now you're in the range of computer laptops. And they do have what are called 2-in-1 laptops, which are basically laptops that you can fold over, and then those laptops become tablets. Okay, next screen. Okay, so working on a tablet, we have 3 choices of operating systems primarily. There are others, but the main ones are Android, Apple's iPad OS, and Windows. By and large, the statistics shown at the bottom, you'll see the Apple iOS is has the largest share of the market, and this is worldwide. So we're looking at about 52%. Android is about 47.5%. Next slide. So when you're trying to decide whether you should go, let's say, an Android tablet or an Apple iPad tablet, you may want to stay in the same ecosystem that you're currently in so that everything is compatible. So if you have, let's say, an iPhone right now, and you're looking for a tablet, you probably want to look at an iPad. If you're working with an Android phone, then you may want to look at an Android tablet. So let's look at some of the range of different tablets that are available. This is one that's available at Costco that's under $200. It's a Samsung Galaxy Tab. The Samsungs are probably the most widely sold of the Android tablets. Samsung has pretty much captured a major part of the market, but not all of the market. So there are quite a number of other brands as well that you can purchase. This would, let's go that one. Let's go back one. So this particular one is a current model. It's a 2024 model. So it's running Android 13. It's an 11-inch tablet, and if you want to let's go on to the next slide. Okay, so trying to pick out, how you can choose the tablet that you may want to purchase. So the things that you want to look at, first of all, you want to look at the screen size. Okay, the whole idea of getting into a tablet is you want something that's bigger than your phone, so you want a larger screen. So, how large a screen do you want? That's the first determination. Second determination is your budget. You may want something that's a real big screen, it's got all the latest features and stuff, but it might be above your budget. So you want to look at the cost considerations as well. Third thing is the display quality. So you want to look at resolution, and you want to look at the brightness on it. Are you going to use it outdoors? If you're going to use it outdoors, then you want something that's going to have a higher brightness. Do you play a lot of music? If you're playing music, then you want something that's got a good audio quality. So, yeah, and the next thing is, how are you using it? What are the types of things you're using it for? So you want to look at all these different things. You also want to look at the compatibility with other devices that you're currently using. And last but not least, you want to look at the battery life. And here we're talking about, how many hours can you use that tablet before it's going to run out of battery life. Next slide. So these are coming in out of order, but okay. So here's a few different examples of tablets that you can work with. So we've got, first of all, in the lower left-hand corner, we've got the Apple iPad. The iPads run about $500 and up. You can get older generations for $250 and up, and those are quite popular. In the upper right-hand corner, you've got the Samsung Galaxy Tabs. Those start at about $170 and go up from there. At the bottom, you'll see the Google Pixel tablet. The Google Pixel tablet is something that Google came out with just last year, actually. And what this tablet does is it sits on a dock. I mean, it's a tablet you can take with you and use as a tablet, but it has its own charging dock. So if you put it on the charging dock, you can now use this as a home hub for controlling things. You can use it for your recipes, whatever you might want to do with it. Actually, just recently, they announced that they're now taking trade-ins. So if you're interested in one of the Google Pixel tablets, and you can trade in an iPad or a Samsung Galaxy Android tablet and get one of these for half price. The other ones that you're looking at, we've got the Microsoft Surface Pro, which is the Windows tablet. So if you're in the Windows, if you're a Windows aficionado, that's the one to go with. And it runs Windows 11. And then in the lower right-hand corner is the Amazon Fire Max 11. The Amazons, they were running a fork of Android, so they can be used as an Android tablet. The thing is, you want to make sure that you have the Google Play Store if you get one of these, and there is a way to install the Google Play Store. If you purchase an Amazon out of the box, it's going to come with the Amazon Play Store, and that does not have all the apps. So I would encourage you to not get one of these unless you're planning on converting it into an Android tablet. Okay. setting up your tablet, here's a couple of things that you may want to look into doing. First of all, don't do what you might do with a phone, is you say, okay, now here's all the apps that I was using on a prior phone, and I'm going to install all my apps now on this phone. You probably don't want to do that with a tablet. Just put in the apps that you normally want to work with on the tablet, the ones that you're going to work with on a day-to-day basis. Because if you put in too many apps, it's going to slow it down. A lot of apps use a lot of battery power. It'll make your tablet run out of battery that much sooner. The other thing you want to do is you want to turn off notifications. So you don't get constantly annoyed like you might do with a phone where every app is sending you a notification. Okay, next slide. Okay, so let's look at a couple of things that you might do on with a tablet. All right, so one of the biggest things that people use tablets for is they use it to watch movies and TV. How many people watch movies on their tablets? Got a few. So some of you may want to try this because it's a lot easier to watch this. You can curl up in bed, watch a good flick, or in the summertime, maybe it's a nice summer evening and you want to sit out on the patio and you can watch a movie or a TV show right on your tablet. And the same types of things that you might be looking at on your smart TV, you can do with a tablet. So if you have a subscription to Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of those, just have those apps on your tablet and you can go watch the same things. So we've got, Peacock, Paramount, number of the major movie apps. And don't forget about the library offers Hoopla and Canopy, which are totally free. And you can get all kinds of movies and TV shows from there. Back up one. So, and just like you might do with a smart TV, in addition to subscriptions, to the movie subscriptions like Netflix, you can also get a lot of the free apps where they give you all kinds of TV channels that you can watch totally free of charge. So we've got Google TV, which is basically just an app, Tubi TV, Pluto, Zumo, Sling Freestream, and Local Now. Okay, other things you can do with your tablet. Well, you can take notes. A lot of tablets come with a stylus, so you can do it in handwriting, and then it'll automatically convert your handwritten notes into typewritten notes. How many use a tablet for taking notes? Not too many. Well, it's a use. I know we're not all in school anymore, so we don't have to keep too many notes. But you may want to put your grocery lists on there or stuff like that. Or if you're taking notes at what we're doing right now, do it on a tablet. You can just write those notes away. Okay, games is one of the biggest things that people like tablets for, because it gives them a nice larger screen than you would get on a phone, and it's touch screen, and you can play the game, right on the touch screen, or you can hook it up with a joystick controller and have a rollicking good time. So. Again, these are all different devices. So, if you want a really big screen, you can do it on a smart TV. But a tablet is always, if you can carry that with you, whereas you wouldn't be taking your TV all places. And, okay, so then casting and mirroring to your devices. So just like we talked about a couple of months ago about casting a phone to a TV, you can do the same thing with a tablet. So you can cast that to your TV and watch whatever's on the TV on your tablet rather on your TV. But what you can also do is you can also cast your tablet. I'm sorry, you cast your smartphone to the tablet. So if you have a small phone and you're trying to look at photos or a movie or something, and you want to cast it to your tablet, you can do that as well. Okay, next. Okay, another big use for tablets is browsing through social media, Facebook, Instagram, any of the X, Twitter, any of the major social media apps are nice to use on a tablet where you can, you got a larger screen and you can see a lot more of what you want to see on there. And a great use for tablets is reading. Okay, you can read books. You can read. You can borrow the ebooks if you're, just like you're using a Kindle. All you need actually is a Kindle app on your tablet, and your tablet becomes a Kindle. But you can use, let's say, the Hoopla app from the library. You can borrow all kinds of ebooks and magazines. And read these right on your tablet. If you're into reading newspapers, you can get digital subscriptions and you can read those newspapers right on your tablet. There are a number of people reading newspapers on their tablet or magazines. So we've got a few. And of course, audiobooks as well. So you can listen to an audiobook on your tablet. Okay, next thing is music. Music is something that's great to use a tablet for. The same things as you might do with a smartphone. This again is it's the same apps just running now on a tablet instead of on a smartphone. So if you use Apple Music, if you use Spotify or YouTube Music, or Amazon Prime Music, or any of the major music apps. These can be used on a tablet as well. And nice thing to do is to connect to external speakers. So if you get a little Bluetooth speaker perhaps, or even a wired speaker that you can hook your tablet up to and get even better sound depending on the sound quality of your tablet. And this is kind of showing you you can even do karaoke type thing, and you can start singing along because many of those apps, Apple Music and Amazon Prime Music, YouTube Music, they all actually do have a mode where they will show you the lyrics to different songs that you might be playing, and so you can learn those songs and just sing along. And the other thing you can do with that is besides getting music songs or different types of music, you can also get podcasts and of course audiobooks as well. So don't forget about the spoken word that you can listen to. So yeah, these are the various subscription options that you can subscribe to for music. Most of these do have free options as well, so you don't get as many selections with the free options as you do with the paid subscriptions. They usually will give you a trial subscription, and there's all kinds of promos, so you can always look out for those, but these are all the ones that are available. You can use your smartphone. Since this is an app, you can also use this on a tablet as well, and turn your tablet or smartphone into a remote control for your TV. So you'll get, just as you can see in the photo here, you can have just a control where you can just go left, right, up, down type of thing. And then there are different modes that the app will give you. So if you need to enter things, so for example, if you need to type something in, you actually have a touch keyboard that you can use as well. So if you have to enter a password, it's a lot easier to enter the password using a tablet or a smartphone. Okay, looking at all your photos and videos that you might have, it's certainly a lot nicer and easier to look at photos on a tablet than you would on a smartphone. So if you want to share your photos with other friends or family, the tablet is really a good way to go. And the other thing you can do is you can also cast it to your TV as well if you want to go real big screen. Or you can come in here, we can cast it to this screen. Okay, one of the biggest uses for a tablet is just browsing the internet. So if you want to go surfing on the internet, that's probably the largest use. Just find your favorite websites and go to it. And you can use, whatever browser is available for you on those tablets. You don't have to use the native one. So if you're on an iPad, it might be Safari, but you can use Edge or Chrome or any of these other apps, any of the other browsers that you might prefer. And of course, the other thing that you would do besides browsing is email. Get your email on the tablet. Look at your calendar as well. And the next use is photography. So this is a big thing. Just like a smartphone, tablets usually come with a pretty decent quality camera. So if you're into photography, you can use it to take pictures. But the other thing you can use the tablet for is for editing those photos or videos. All you need is some editing apps, photo editing apps, and you can do this on a tablet. It's not as easy to do on a smartphone because of the size of the smartphone. But if you want to, doctor up some of those photos that you've just taken, it's really easy to do, especially if you have one of those a stylus like they're showing you in the lower right-hand corner there. You can edit those photos away. Okay, this is showing split screen. So this kind of varies by the tablet you're using, whether it's an iPad or an Android tablet or a Windows tablet. But basically, it's pretty much all the same. What you're going to do is you're going to open up one app in split screen mode. And so, for example, on an Android tablet, if you look at all of the apps that you might have running in the background, there'll be like a little icon at the top of each app, and if you just click on that icon, it gives you a menu, and one of the things on there will say "Open in split screen." So if you open that up in split screen, you can then select another app to run alongside of it. So here you can see you can open up two apps. You can actually even do it with three apps even, and have three apps running at the same time. So a couple of things that you might want to note is You should always close the apps that you're not using. You don't keep them all running in the background. Because if they're running in the background, as I mentioned, it can drain your battery. You also want to update your apps, so keep your tablet updated. You can make use of the cloud. So you might watch movies from the cloud, but let's say you're going on a trip, then what you want to do is you want to download ebooks or movies or whatever it is that you might want to be using on that tablet, download those in advance. Okay, next slide. Okay, how many people print from their tablet or smartphones? Okay, these days we've got Wi-Fi printers. So with a Wi-Fi printer, you can print from a mobile device, which is what a tablet is, or a smartphone. So you don't have to actually wire it up to the printer. And so if you're working with a tablet and you're browsing the internet and you see something, maybe it's a coupon for a discount or something, or whatever it might be, and you want to print that, all you have to do is connect up wirelessly to your printer, and off you go to print. Next slide. Video calls. This is becoming increasingly more popular, especially among the younger folks. How many of you here make video calls with your tablets? Yes, actually quite a few. So, yeah, with a tablet, you can do this, of course, with a smartphone as well. You can now see the person you're talking to. You got a little bit larger screen with a tablet, so it makes it real nice. Most tablets, you can either put it on a stand, or they might have a drop-down little tab that'll prop it up on a table for you. So you want to just, prop it up, but, like the one in the picture here is just a stand that this is propped on, and you can then go ahead and make video calls. One thing you might also want to do with video calls is you can try casting it to your television as well. So you might have the tablet in front of you, but if you're casting it to the TV, now you've got a really big picture out there, but you can still make your phone call, and you can actually see the party you're talking to. So you have a larger group. That might be nice to do sometimes. Is to cast it to a TV. Okay, Smart Home Hub. Yeah, we talked in the past about making tablets or smartphones. You can have an app to be the hub of your smart home. So if you have smart devices, thermostats, doorbells, camera devices, whatever you might have, you can control all of these through the tablet. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that whatever tablet you're using is going to be compatible with whatever other devices that you're trying to control. So if you have an Android tablet, you might use the Google Home app and so forth. If you have an Apple iPad, they have a smart app called, I believe it's Apple HomeKit on there as well. Okay, excellent. Okay, so another use for a tablet is as an alarm clock. Put it on your nightstand. If you're using an Android tablet, you can get the time and the weather. Your alarm clock. It'll go off when whatever time you set it for. It might give you the weather. I think the one on the right side, I believe, is an iPad. On the left side is Android, and So you can see that one is giving, showing the weather on there as well. Yeah, Google also has one with the weather on there too. Okay, another interesting thing you can do with your tablet is you can run something called Chrome. This is for Android tablets, but you can run something actually you can, it's not just for Android tablets, it's Chrome Remote Desktop, which is the Google product, but you can actually run this on an iPad. And what this will allow you to do is give you remote access, let's say, to your computer. So what you do is you run Chrome Remote Access. You can see up in the upper screen there, it says Set up Remote Access. And then you're going to either connect to another computer, okay? So on one computer, you're going to share the screen, and on the other computer, you're going to connect to that remote computer. So you can use this to connect to your own computer. Let's say, maybe you're away from home, and you can even leave your computer on, and you can remotely get in there. Or maybe you want to help out a friend or relative. You can connect up to their computer remotely and see their screen on your tablet, and you can help them with that, or you can get help from someone else. So it's a remote access type thing. Works pretty well. And yeah, you can actually use this on a computer as well, not just on a smartphone or a tablet. Okay, now you bought a nice new tablet. What do you do with your old one? Okay, well, there's some ideas that you can put to use besides donating the old one or giving it to someone. There are some uses you can make use of that old tablet. You can turn it into a digital photo frame and just look at pictures on there, put it somewhere on a table in your living room or somewhere, and just have it constantly changing photos, all your favorite photos. The only thing you're going to need is you need Wi-Fi, of course. And you need a power plug, it's just got to be powered up, or it's not going to work. So make sure you get a plug and Wi-Fi. And you want all your photos up there in the cloud. So if you haven't backed up your photos, then it's going to be more difficult to do this. Okay, what else can you use it for? Well, so some of the things we've talked about, you can use one particular old tablet and dedicate it for that use. Let's say you want to just read ebooks. You can dedicate your old tablet and say, I'm just going to use this for reading old, ebooks and magazines or whatever. You can turn it into a clock, put it on your nightstand, and it becomes your alarm clock. And you can do this with old smartphones too. So if you have an old smartphone, you want to turn it into some extra use, like we talked about with the remote for your TV. Use an old smartphone as a remote. Or give it to your grandkids. They can always find uses for stuff. They'll play games or whatever on their tablet. Okay, yeah, next slide. So let's try to get a little bit interactive. What do you use your tablet for? Does anyone have some unique uses for their tablets that they'd like to share? Things that we haven't talked about? Anyone? We've gone through a few good different uses. See, I think we've got one. Okay.
Okay. One thing that I think might be useful for a lot of people here is You've probably seen the commercials on TV for the Guardian Mobile. They have this new, it's a credit card. And this, I keep in my wallet. It Bluetooth to my phone. You know, they advertise it a lot on TV. These things work great. I've talked to a cardiologist, and they value what the output from this. And I just recently had an experience with an electrophysiologist who deals with the electricity of the heart. And he claimed that 20% of the population over age 60 experiences AFib at some time or other. And they don't even know it. AFib can cause blood clots, and can cause strokes. So with something like this will tell you if you're in AFib or not. And it shows bradycardia and tachycardia, which is slow heart rate and fast heart rate. It's very handy. And I just check it periodically just to, and you can do it, I did it with somebody else as a guest, or it keeps a history of mine. I can do a PDF with it and send it to the doctor. Very handy. So if anybody has any questions afterwards, I'll be around.
Okay, all right, so that's one good use. Anyone else have something that they like to use their tablets for that they'd like to share? I'm sure you got, all of you have some good ideas and things that you're using your tablets for.
Yeah, I got an idea. When you go to a doctor's office or someplace like that, you can bring that tablet with you and do all your editing for your pictures. It really works good because you'll think you were there for 10 minutes and you're gonna have been sitting in that chair for 2 hours. And it won't make no difference to you. One of the best programs to use is Snapseed. It makes editing very easy on a tablet. You use your finger to point, and it takes not that much learning to figure it out. So give that a shot. It's a free program from Google. It's Snapseed. One word. That's it.
Okay, anyone else? And, yeah, John?
Many of us have a lot of music on CDs and on vinyl records. And now that spring is here, you might want to go for a walk and listen to music. One way you can do that is to take all your music, digitize it, put it on the cloud, like in OneDrive, log on to it with your phone. With Bluetooth earbuds, you can now listen to all of your music going way back into the 50s.
Right, and then when you come back indoors, if you got a little Bluetooth speaker, instead of your headphones, you can now switch to your Bluetooth speaker and play it through there.
Yeah, stuff is got another few steps that we're not talking about. Come into the lab and we'll let you know how you actually can do it.
So, okay, so next thing we're gonna do is, we'll take questions, and then after that, you don't have to go anywhere. We're gonna be here until noon. So if you've got some questions for us, you need some help with any problems or things.
I'll start with a question, Shelley, and that is, do you have to have the same amount of RAM memory in a tablet as you do a computer to do all of these various things? So are there minimums as far as specifications for tablets that you would recommend?
Well, of course, it depends on what you're using the tablet for. So it's just like with a computer. So, I mean, if you're just using it to surf the internet, then your demands are going to be less. If you're using it to do video editing or photo editing, that type of thing, then you might need more memory and perhaps more storage as well to hold all those videos. Yeah, more questions?
I have one comment. I have an old cell phone, and it has Android 6, which is no longer supported whatsoever. I have a tablet that's Android 7, which is no longer supported whatsoever. We have another cell phone, that's our current one, that's Android 9, and it just recently, in the last year or so, is no longer supported. But on that one, apparently they say that it could be upgraded to Android 11, which is supported. So if anyone here has Android older than 11, it's not being supported, and you're at risk for security things, because the hackers look at what were problems and go right in. And this almost forces a person to get a new cell phone every 3 years, roughly, I'd say. And if you don't, you'd better look at the Android system comments as to which ones are still supported. And there's a third party in many instances that says that they will give you that support that you could not get from Android. But those may be from unknown sources. So I asked my son about that, who's age 50, much more knowledgeable about tablets and smartphones than I am at age 80. And he says there's a risk there with those third-party people to try that. What do you say?
Yeah, now, Android is up to like 13, going on 14 right now. But if you have an older device like that, if it's that old, if you're talking something that's probably 8, 9, 10 years old, then you may want to do one of the things like we were talking about and just dedicate it to be a photo frame perhaps, or an alarm clock or whatever, and look at one of the newer ones. Because you can get these in all different price ranges, so it might be just time to replace it. But yeah, you want to keep it up to date, certainly. Dave, did you have your hand up there in the back? No. Thank you. No? No? Okay, any other questions? Okay, then we're open. If there's coffee left, you can grab an extra cup of coffee, or feel free to stay at your own table, or if you want to come up and move to